Are you comfortable with best practice interview techniques for virtual interviews? I'm talking about interview techniques to support you in making the right hiring decision. Building rapport and creating a positive candidate experience is just as important in virtual interviews as it is in in-person interviews. Whilst many of these techniques are similar, there are few considerations that are specific to virtual interviews. Here are some of them. Firstly, make sure you are clearly visible. The camera setting is optimal when your head and shoulders are clearly visible from the front. When speaking, make sure that you are looking into the camera, not off the camera. Sit in a way that you would in a face-to-face meeting. For example, do not rest your head on your hands. Ensure your background is neat and professional or blurred out. For optimal audio, speak into a headset, as mine, or a microphone. Switch your phone off and find an environment where you can complete the interview without being disturbed. Keep your video switched on all the time. Do not be tempted to engage in any other secondary activities such as writing emails or messages, eating, making phone calls, accepting packages from DHL. So these are all disrespectful activities and should be avoided. When it comes to technology, make sure it works. Familiarize yourself with Zoom, Teams, WebEx, or whatever you and your organization is using. Ask the candidate if they are familiar with the technology you are using, especially if they have to present something to you. And if they aren't, well, then please explain. Be patient in case of technical malfunction. Your candidate is not the one to blame. Help to find a solution. If the technology does not allow for a proper conversation, the appointment must be postponed. Here are some more interview techniques that are relevant for both virtual and in-person interviews. Be courteous. Welcome your potential employee to the interview. Smile. Thank them for the interest in your organization and the time they have set aside to meet with you. Thank them for their time at the end. Be calming. Help your potential employee to relax and make sure they're comfortable. You can imagine they might be very nervous. So even in a virtual interview, you can ask applicants if they would like to get something to drink before you start. Be curious. Start your interview by asking what attracted your potential employee to the role and to your organization. And be prepared. Allow enough time for the interview. Don't go into the interview unprepared. Read the CV carefully before you start and take notes of any questions you have. Do not read the CV during the interview. Listen, take notes, remember what you have talked about. Don't play bad cop. The interview is a get-to-know session, not an interrogation. You are a brand ambassador for your company. You want candidates to remember the interview with a good feeling, even if the candidate is not a good fit in the end. And be relevant. Ask questions that relate to the job. Be careful not to ask inappropriate or discriminatory questions. Answer the candidate's questions honestly, highlight benefits that might suit the candidate. Model good behavior. Behave in the same way as you expect your candidate to behave. Show up on time for the interview. If your phone rings because you forgot to turn it off, apologize to the candidate for the interruption. Reject the call, turn it off, and do not answer the call. And remember, always be empathetic and appreciate.